my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what we're going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's one of our great friends and Patreon supporters, Mr. Mike Burton of the Genuine Chit Chat podcast. So please get over there, guys, and give Mike a follow and listen to his podcasts. However, Dave, for Mike being such a lovely guy, he's picked a movie from 2003, which was voted in 2003 the worst movie of the year, Dave. It is at a 3% rating on various channels like Rotten Tomatoes, so on. 2.9 on IMDb. It's got one of the lowest ones we've done so far. So, Dave, as I say, we're going back to 2003. This is with the, this is a movie almost leading up to Halloween as this one comes out in October. It stars the rather sexy Stephen Dorff, Dave, or in his own words, Natasha McElhone, don't know who she is, and Stephen Ray. This one is FearDotCom. Originally, it was supposed to be called Fear, but they had to put the .com in because they couldn't get the website FearDotCom officially, Dave, because the guy wouldn't sell it, which wasn't a bad thing. So, have you seen this first time round, Dave, or is this the first time you're watching it?
No, so I'd seen this before, and I think Natasha, I'm sure she was in Mallrats.
That's why I don't remember.
I'd have to check. But I'm just hoping that we've definitely watched the same one, because I'm looking at IMDb and it's got 3.4. But you just said 2.9 there.
Well, I'm marking it down, Dave. I've took half the point off. So
right, fair enough. I just had that fear, no pun intended. I was like, we've definitely watched the same movie, haven't we? But yeah, so I watched this at the time. So my girlfriend at the time was, Stephen Dorff would have probably been on her laminated top 5 list, I would imagine. And so for that reason, it was one of those movies we watched. I've mentioned Love Film before. It probably was one of those that were emailed through from Love Film. But to be honest, Chris, had completely forgotten that I'd watched this because, well, we'll get into our review, but it's just not that memorable. But yeah, it was only as it was going through, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. And so, yeah, I'd completely forgotten about it. But yeah, it does take me back to that time in the kind of early 2000s, before the world started to go to shit. It was kind of a happier time, a more hopeful time, I feel. But yeah, and we're getting to the music stuff as well. I remember I was watching movies and stuff, watching a lot of Kerrang TV. We had the NTL box, I remember.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those that probably, yeah. So I just remember if we weren't watching movies, just watching Kerrang TV a lot. And so it's a weird sort of memory to have. But how about yourself, Chris?
Well, I've never seen this. However, the actual VHS cover was quite recognizable. I remember being in Blockbuster, you'd see it all the time. I remember when it came out, it wasn't received very well at all. It was a bit of a shocker, I think. So never wanted to watch it. Stephen Dorff, obviously, we've done Blade, haven't we, Dave? On Comics in Motion, he was proper. I think he did in one of the Beatles, the fifth Beatle thing they did as well, one of the movies. But he was in a lot of movies around this time, wasn't he? I don't know, he pops up every now and again, but he was like the shit then, wasn't he? He was a good-looking guy. He had something about him. He had that sort of, he's like the same areas like Johnny Depp, that sort of James Dean about him, didn't he? He's like, he wasn't dead muscle or anything. He's a good-looking guy. He had a bit of an edge to him as an actor. So he did get a lot of opportunities around this time. But yeah, I've certainly not seen it. And with it being a horror movie, Dave, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to see this. But it was just interesting Mike's picked it because you read everything about it and I'm like, Year of the Stitch Up, Mike has done his homework big time, Dave. Now, have we got some sort of message from Mike, Dave, for later on to play? Is there something? Because Mike usually shares something with us regarding this movie.
No, so but by the time I edit this, we may do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It was just one of them things. I thought Mike usually has something to say.
Yeah, Mike. So I guessed on Mike's. It's Mike's podcast, really. So Star Wars Chit Chat. So myself and Math come on there, but Mike kind of architects it all and produces it all and everything. And yeah, when he was telling me about this one, he was gleefully telling me about this one, and it was very clear it was quite bad. And I just realised, Chris, I said about Natasha being in Mallrats. So I'm completely misremembering and confusing her with someone else, a different actress called Claire Forlani. So yeah, I think I have seen that Natasha
Hone, whatever her name is. Yeah, her.
Yeah, that Natasha McElhone in something else, but I can't think what. So she is actually she's one of those. She's from London, and then she's gone across and can put on the old American accent. And I think again, it's another thing that seemed to happen a lot around this time, didn't it? You had all fucking Hugh Laurie going across doing House and stuff, and suddenly they seem to be able to convince everyone they're American. But they're not. So yeah, I thought I'd call myself out there for the wrong fact, referencing Mallrats. But yeah. So my word, Chris, I'm gotta tell you, I think there's going to be a lot of tangents today.
You reckon? Yeah, I don't know what to say, Dave. Shall we get into?
Let's go.
In a world where the internet is still scary and broadband is just a rumour, one website dares you to log on and die of boredom.
This is FearDotCom, the movie ask, what if The Ring, but with worse Wi-Fi? I don't know.
Bloody good rep, Finchy.
The double valve forgotten.
Honestly, I've seen scarier pop-ups on Napster.
The real horror here is trying to sit through 2 hours of AOL loading screens and dodgy cockroach effects. Witness the terror, I don't know where it is, of people looking slightly concerned while staring at a 14-inch monitor.
And don't forget the evil Dr. Villain, who somehow manages to be less scary than my GP telling me to cut down on carbs.
Yeah, and let's not overlook the police investigation subplot, which is basically, what if CSI, but everyone's incompetent and allergic to acting?
They thought the web was safe until they found a site uglier than a MySpace profile in 2002.
Honestly, this film makes Internet Explorer look vast.
By the end, I was praying for a computer virus to just wipe the whole movie from existence.
Fear.com, the only website scarier than your mum checking your browser history.
Mike Riley is an NYPD detective who is called to the scene of a mysterious death in the subway system. The victim exhibits bleeding from the eyes and other orifices, and by the frozen look on his face, don't know why I had to mention that bit, appears to have seen something horrifying before being hit by a train. Department of Health researcher Terry Huston is intrigued by the find as well, particularly when several more victims show up with identical symptoms. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, I am virtually giving Mike Burton a clap because this movie is fucking shit. This is the ramped up to about 100. I have not watched a movie with such a big budget. 40 million in 2002 is a big budget for this sort of movie. And there is literally no real plot to it at all. It is fucking terrible. The guy who decides he's going to rescue the girl on the train track, is on the subway, is running down the subway. You see the sparks. He jumps across. She's not there. The tram's behind him. He jumps to safety. But why doesn't the tram brake? the fucking driver just carries on at full speed. Like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to move.
I've started now, so I need to finish.
I might as well finish. Yeah, you've started, so you finish. Okay, Magnus. But he goes straight for him, and then he's safe. And then the last, obviously, it's to do with we don't know what the context is at the moment. Then he just jumps in front of the train, and I think from movies like Blade to The Matrix, that there was this raft of movies using this sort of effects, wasn't there? This camera, the way it was shot, this sort of like you said, leaning into the internet age and things like that. Honestly, this movie's fucking terrible, and I've seen this sort of the way they film it in so many better films. Honestly, I mean, I don't think Stephen Dorff's very good in this at all. Like it as much as you're saying this must have been his falling off period there, where he's sort of late 90s, early 2000s, because this wouldn't have done his career any good. He's absolutely atrocious. But it's like they've cut, and it does say they cut the movie down, but they've literally cut down the bits that would have made it make fucking sense, because there is no sense in this movie whatsoever, Dave. Honestly, it is of its time. It feels early 2000s, definitely. But my God, this is a hard watch, this one.
Yeah. It is really, it's edited quite badly, isn't it? To be just completely incoherent and difficult to follow, even though basically it's a carbon copy of The Ring. Now, I know The Ring came out 2002 as well, but obviously the Japanese version, the original came out in 98. So I don't know if it's one of those where just someone's watched that and thought, okay, we're going to do that, but instead of VHSs, because VHSs are going out of vogue at some point in the not too far distant future, DVDs will outstrip VHSs, and so we're going to do the internet. And also, getting into the late 90s, into the 2000s, obviously 2001 was the whole .com bubble, wasn't it? It was 2000 or 2001? I'm trying to remember. It was around that time.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot of fear about, okay, what is this internet thing? What will it mean for society? And all those kind of, not very logical, but actual fears of people. And yeah, they could have made like quite a scary movie. But, neither of us are big fans of the horror genre at all, but none of this was scary. I mean, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's too confusing. It sort of takes you out, or not that it takes you out. I'm not sure I was ever in.
Yeah.
Like the effects, the camera work, it seems okay, and some of the practical effects, I think they look like they should be scary, but they're really not. And it's almost like, I was saying about watching a lot of Kerrang TV, this is like an extended music video, the way it's shot. And you can see that the way, for the colouring, they've obviously just come off the back of watching Seven as well.
Yes.
It's very much like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's probably the main description of how films were shot around that time. Seven, good one.
Yeah.
That's what I've been looking for, I think, more than anything. That feel. Blade though feels a bit like this, doesn't it? Dark, everything about. Yeah, that's a good callback. But I think what I struggle with more than anything is like there's not really anyone to root for, is there? Like even Terry, like the psychologist, whatever she is, like her acting's fucking terrible. And there's no connection with Stephen Dorff. It's not like it's supposed to be some sort of loving or whatever they're supposed to be. There's just nothing between them, is there? There is no. I think what you said, we both said, is it's the way it's edited. I think you're right. The way it's edited it really takes so much of the movie out. There's obviously context there. Maybe there isn't, but I'm trying to cut it a bit of slack because there's a reason it's at 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is a terrible movie. I mean, Mike has absolutely pulled this one out of the fire. Fucking awful. I kept thinking, Mike, my friend, you have done us here completely. We've watched some bad movies, haven't we, this year? We have, where we our Patreon friends have all picked him, but this is on another level for me. I think this is it's a truly woeful movie, and I think what pisses me off more is the budget. If we're watching a crappy old movie or an Asian movie that we've had come across our doors, or like when Blake picks the bloody fucking Muppet Show one, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Meet the Feebles.
Yeah, Meet the Feebles, because it's done on a shoestring. It's done for that reason, to sort of like take the piss. They're not going for Oscars and that. But with this, you can imagine that someone somewhere's gone, this is it. We'll get all sorts of awards for this. You're getting Razzers, not fucking Oscars. Honestly, I found it so difficult. I had to keep going online to have a look at the story as I was watching it. I'm going, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, like what you've described at the start, the intro and everything is perfect, because we say it all the time, but that intro does not match really what's going on the screen. It's so bad, and none of the dialogue lays up what's actually going on. We just seem to stumble from scene to scene, and it's only sort of towards the end where you understand about the virus and the computer properly in it, honestly. And that's not me scrolling on my phone or pissing about, or I genuinely sat there and was like, this is a real struggle to watch. So I was in the gym, Dave. I was on my bike on purpose, because then I can only look at the screen. I thought, I've got to concentrate. I know this is a bad movie, and my God, did Mike annoy me more than anything. He gave me a personal best on my bike though, Dave. I was on my elliptical bike going for it, because I was more angry as I got faster. But what a terrible turkey of a movie this is.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's not even one of those that you can get enjoyment because it's so bad it's good. There's something happens. It's very clear that there is a budget to this. The way it's shot and everything, and it's just put together really badly. But I don't know what's going on with Stephen Dorff, but it's just, his character is so bland and, uninteresting. When he was in Blade, he was really kind of hamming it up, wasn't he? He was, there was something about his performance in that. But here, I don't know if he's just, is he looking at this as a payday or whatever, but he's just sleepwalking through this film. And you just don't really care about his plight. And the thing is, because The Ring came out in 2002 as well, and basically it's the same story, only it's the internet rather than, the VHS. It's hard to not make that comparison, but straight from the off, with The Ring, you've got the girl who's sort of got that horrible, shocked, scared to death face right at the start with a bit of a jump scare and stuff. And the atmosphere, it gives you that tension. Whereas there's no tension in this. Just every now, don't go onto the website because, what was it, a couple of days after or whenever. Again, just very, very much The Ring. You'll die at that point. But and you get some of this weird sort of, again, it's almost like a techno fucking prodigy movie or something that shows up. And then you get these reoccurring, again, it's trying to be The Ring, where it's got this reoccurring, intended to be spooky shots. But yeah, they just do nothing. And again, did you find this scary in any way?
No.
Yeah, it's even weird, isn't it? Because we're both shithouses with horror films. And like I say, I don't understand how it isn't scary, because the formula seems to be there for it to be scary. It's fairly gruesome in bits, but yeah, it just completely misses the mark for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, look, I know I laugh about it in that, but there's a reason I watch a lot of these movies in the daytime, Dave, because it is that. I am an absolute coward. I don't care. You can give me any sort of action movie or gangster, that's fine. But this really is a difficult watch. And also, I think like the idea when he steals, like, kidnaps the girl, and then we've got the sort of sexualized side of it as well. You don't really need that, do you, really? You know what I mean? Like, there's a girl there getting undressed with that guy, and she's doing a video, and I'm like, look, Dave, you know I love bigboobs.com and fucking Heidi's Adventures or Helga or whatever she's called, you know, let's be honest there. But I just feel
it could take a weird turn with Heidi.
It could. Well, yeah, it's
like
a new one.
12 or something.
Hang on, Dave, hang on. No, she's Helga's, she's actually, no. So Heidi is Helga's flatmate, Dave, who you bump into by mistake when you go for a cup of tea and you get invited in.
And don't forget, Chris, those who use their whistles will lose them.
Whistles, yeah. They're both wearing lederhosens, Dave, old school, sort of buttons undone. Anyway, this is
I feel like I'm losing you here.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing myself, Dave. Anyway, my shoulders twitching. But anyway, move on.
You got your glasses case out.
I'm steaming here, right? Like, stop it. Move on. I'll have to take 5, Dave, or maybe 10. But anyway, so no, but I do think these bits in it that it's of its time. They're trying to like sexualize what's going on. They're trying to make us as the audience feel as if they're going to get rescued. The girl's going to get rescued and that. And then when people start getting taken down with the virus, it doesn't really make any sense to me, like what's going on, because I'm like, all right, Mike takes one for the team as well. And he's like feeling guilty about, getting that Denise involved. And I'm just like, but nobody really cares about anything. It just seems to be like, you said like, obviously it's a low budget thing. Steam Duff doesn't fit. It feels like it's a TV movie. It feels like it's an episode of, say, a CSI or some sort of thing. This guy's crazed. It's Halloween, and this guy said he's going to kill, and it's like a very self-contained story, like Tales of the Crypt, I suppose, or whatever. Fucking hell, Tales of the Unexpected, I think, in some parts of this. But you've got something that it just feels really cheap. And I'm like, where the fuck has the money gone? Has someone gone on a world cruise here or something, or fucking gone to Vegas and blown all the budget? Because it doesn't feel, other than a couple of nice special effects, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of money behind this. And I can't work out why. Is it the marketing? Is that why? Is it something to do with that?
That's usually the marketing budget's kept separate, isn't it? So that's why they say a rule of thumb, if you double the budget, so that was what it took to make the movie, but you've got all the marketing budget, which isn't sort of reported in the same way. It's funny you mentioned about Tales of the Crypt, though. So William Malone is the director of this, and looking back at his filmography, in 1994, he directed an episode called Only Skin Deep of Tales of the Crypt. So, it's an interesting kind of reach that you've got there. He did another film that I kind of half remember. I've definitely watched it, but House on Haunted Hill. He did that as well. I remember Marilyn Manson did. What was it? I think it wasn't Tainted Love. It was another cover. Sweet Dreams, I think, was that movie. But yeah, so I'm looking through his filmography, and there's nothing great. And remember, I think I told you a few months ago, Freddy's Nightmares appeared on Plex, and that was a time because I was always shit scared of Freddy Krueger as a kid. I remember seeing an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, and I was like, oh, I think I can handle this horror stuff now. And I've gone back to watch it. Fucking hell, Chris, it's terrible. Like, really, really bad. And there is nothing scary about it at all. It's almost like, I don't know, Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone or something like that. And Freddy's just, I don't know, he just makes a bit of an appearance at the start and the end to say something quippy. But really, really bad. So he fucking did an episode of that in 1988 as well. So we're not talking about one of the upper echelon directors here.
No, we're not at all. And I mean, what I know it's hard. It's like say we're laughing about going on tangents, but I'm like sort of almost speechless, thinking like, I mean, we've watched loads of movies, and we talk about, you go in a video shop years ago, you see these movies and be like, well, I can clearly see that's a cheapo movie. But I remember this VHS, I said it before, it's so not iconic, but you knew it was FearDotCom. But like, you also knew the movie was fucking terrible. This come out around the same time as Too Fast, Too Furious, I think, the second one. So I remember going into Blockbuster, and I'm not saying I remember seeing, but I always remember this cover, because me and Sam were well into the Scream movies at this point. So you would see it in the Halloween section, the scary movie section. And yeah, I don't know. I think like for the story, what's even worse is like when they sort of start having the hallucinations, I wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, are they under his spell? Are they dead? What's going on? They're after this Alistair Pratt, aren't they? Like, well, I couldn't work out when Mike was in there. I was like, why is he in the bed? What's going on here? Have I missed something? Is he going to succumb to it? And then a couple of scenes later, Mike's there sort of chasing him, and I'm like, oh, right, it must have been part of the whole hallucination thing. But I don't think it doesn't show on screen what we need to see. And that's why this has got so many fucking bad reviews and bad scores, is because it's all down. We keep saying it's down to the editing. I'm like, there's just nothing, there's nothing to follow what's going on. Like, I couldn't work out when Stephen Dorff was in the bed. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And I'm like, I've not moved away from the screen. I've not gone to make a brew and whatever. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I think what I found interesting is if we all do. We watch movies, you have your phone on, or you get distracted by something. That's the world we live in. I'm terrible on my phone. But with this, I genuinely made a conscious effort to really sit down, because I knew previously from some of the stuff years ago and even read it before that this was going to be hard to follow. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be that difficult. It fucking well is. Like, I mean, really, we're doing the Lord's work here, Dave, so no one else has to watch this, because I wouldn't suggest this movie to anybody. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not. I can't say that. But it's just terrible. It's just like, it's an idea. And like you said, The Ring, that's a better movie, but it's the same idea, it's the same sort of, it reminded me of another movie when I was watching it as well, but it is the same sort of concept in it, but just done in a terrible way for me. A really, really poor movie.
Yeah, and I imagine Mike is chuckling his arse off.
Oh yeah,
he's listening to this, because he's nailed where he was trying to shoot. I think, yeah, I remember him saying like, "Oh yeah, I won't be rewatching it. No, I'll never watch it again." And I'm looking through the reviews now. I'd like to pick out the extremes. So one says, "Wow, I could have watched paint dry instead." The other one said, I'd rather watch anti-smoking commercials. And then clearly they've got the comic book guy here, because it says, worst movie ever. Here's another one. FearDotCrap.
That's better, actually.
People feel passionately that this is not good. I'm trying to find, when you have one of those, it's really hit with someone and they give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Strangely, can't find one. No. Oh no, here we go. 10 out of 10. It says worth a rewatch for a new generation.
Yeah, what generation?
I mean, I don't know which generation that is, but yeah, well, there you go, Chris. There's a market for everyone. I just think, though, it's purely awful. I don't know if maybe, again, I always said when I watched Freddy's Nightmares, and I thought, oh, right, I can take this horror stuff now. And I got into watching a lot of them. Maybe it's just one of those, it's someone who's not ever watched movies before at all, or been in a cave for the last 30 years and come out and gone, oh, yeah, fucking this movie stuff's all right.
well, I was saying at the top there, I saw it in the trivia, but they wanted the movie to be called Fear.
Yeah.
Fear.com, but it's supposed to be the website they wanted was www.fear.com, but they couldn't get that, as I say. So what they did do was go www.fear.com, as in written.com, Dave. That says it all. That's the end. Even me, Mr. fucking useless at marketing, would have gone, I think we need to just pack it in, guys. It's done. We're done. Yeah. Sort of thing. It's truly terrible. I was reading in the trivia, though, Dave, in Pratt's apartment where he's got the girl held up. They're real bodies.
Yeah.
German sculptor Gunther von Hagens. They're actually real bodies. We're getting on what did we watch? The Spielberg one? Oh, not Spielberg. The one where the dead bodies were in that.
It was Poltergeist, wasn't it?
Poltergeist, wasn't it? And they didn't know they were real bodies, weren't they? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know about that.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, what a fucking move that was. I know, that's absolutely scary for life. But yeah, I think even when they go and get Pratt, and it's quite a name, what a name, Pratt, Alistair Pratt. Mike comes in, doesn't he? And he's like, you have a gun. How on whatever he's saying, I'm probably acting better than him. Howell thinking of a gun, but then he pulls a gun out, Dave, when Mike shoots him in the leg and gets him in the stomach, and obviously.
Yeah.
It was just that payoff. There was nothing there. I mean, we lose Stephen Dorff, who's like the head of the movie, but then we get this ghost thing, don't we, and everything. And I'm like, I don't really care, if I'm being honest. Like, is this a hallucination of ghosts, or is it really ghosts? Like, what's the score? Because they couldn't get Pratt, could they, for years? And then all of a sudden, he's in the same city, and they found him quite easy. I found that whole conclusion silly. And was that supposed to be a ghost when he dies and that? Was that just in his head?
Yeah. So no, I think again, it's like The Ring, isn't it? So, or I guess The Ring had it. You know, it was a twist beyond the twist. So you're thinking in The Ring, you're thinking this girl is, you know, she's been.
Hang on a minute. Word that correctly.
Tread carefully, Dave. Tread carefully here. So she gets chucked down the well, and you're thinking, "Oh, this is terrible." You know, she's been abused and whatever, and murdered, and then she turns out to be a horrible fucking demon that crawls out the telly. Whereas this one, I think that Alistair had, and who comes up with the fucking names? I mean, your main two protagonists are Mike and Terry. It's like someone started off writing an episode of Brookside and fucking decided to write a horror movie instead. So, yeah, Alistair, I think, had killed the little girl, hadn't he? And so, you know, chucked a body. I think this is what it was. And, you know, her body was undiscovered. So therefore, you know, she becomes this vengeful ghost. Again, a la The Ring, The Grudge, stuff like that. And then, so because Tessa found the body of the little girl, you know, and sort of set the spirit free. And then she goes to town on Alistair. Again, this probably sounds wrong, doesn't it? But yeah, sort of kills him off. So I don't think it was in his head. I think it was, you know, it was a ghostly presence.
Well, it's funny you should mention Brookside, Dave, because in October they're doing a crossover episode with Hollyoaks. They've been filming on the close
really?
for the first time in 20 odd years, or whatever it is, 25 years. So there's 3 or 4 episodes. You've got Barry Grant back, we've got Bobby Grant, Sheila Grant back. Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of a weird thing.
Fucking royal family episode.
Well, exactly. Well, it's a bit weird though, because we also have got Mick Johnson, Big Mick, who actually lived in Manchester for years, because his kids used to go to our school. They were the same age as me, his son, his daughter. But he's actually a character in Hollyoaks, and Jackie Dixon is a character in Hollyoaks as well. So how they're going to cross them over, or they just don't mention it. And Sinbad's been in Hollyoaks as a taxi driver, but never mentioned his name, Dave. So they've been filming on the close, and it's some sort of 3-episode thing which leads into late night Hollyoaks. Now, Hollyoaks is fucking terrible, Dave. Like, we used to watch it all the time, but it's absolutely awful. But that is actually where Hollyoaks is filmed, on the old set of the parade.
Yeah.
It's something to do with Phil Redmond and 50 years.
He's the creator of both, isn't he?
Both, yeah. It's like celebrating him. So there's rumours, because I've been on a Brookside fan page for ages, as much as I'm not a big fan of most things from Liverpool, Dave, especially in red. I've always liked Brookside. So I'm on the fan page, and that I've been on it for ages on Facebook. Just one of the things you joined years ago, and it pops up. And then there's been rumours they were going to try and do maybe an online type thing, but they reckon this could be, or help towards a bit of a reboot if the interest is there. Right, maybe not every night, but that'd be interesting. I used to love Brookside.
It'd be weird, wouldn't it? I mean, it feels like that time capsule. You know, you had Barry and Tessa, you know, running away. I can't remember. They were running away from some fucking local criminal or something. He had their body buried under the patio. And I guess
Trevor Jordash.
Yeah, it just got more and more silly, didn't it? And again, Hollyoaks. I'm sure I came across it, Chris, or flicking through the channels, and I saw Hollyoaks. I'm like, this is weird. There's like a weird sheen on it, and it's almost like fucking Neighbours or something now. I guess they both just got too extreme. But yeah, I was the same. I used to love a bit of Brookside back in the day, but back in its heyday, and like you say, Mick, I'd sort of forgotten about him.
That's so yeah, probably in competition.
Probably watch that. I would have thought.
Yeah, sorry to cut across it. Yeah, did you ever remember Mick did the bodybuilding competition?
No.
Now, Lewis Emmerich, he used to actually go to Stretford Sports Centre and swim in the sports centre. So I think he's a little bit taller than me. So he's about 6'3", I think. Big guy. But he did this whole thing where he went on steroids and wanted to compete. But you can clearly see they just showed him from, like, say, the top of his chest, because he never went and did any training to do this bodybuilding part, Dave. You know what they do in movies and that, like, you know, Mark Wahlberg and obviously The Rock's always like massive, isn't he? But yeah, he did a whole thing. It was a classic. And I'm like, at the time, what was I? I was probably like 19, 20, 21, proper into the gym. And I'm like, he's not fucking training. You know, one of them, like,
Yeah.
But funny you should say Barry Grant and Terry, because Terry was actually, in real life, Terry ended up in jail, Dave, because he was running with gangsters and stuff. So he was a naughty person, the guy who played Terry in real life. So, yeah, he was actually more Barry Grant than the guy who played Barry Grant, Paul Usher, and he's coming back. So, yeah, those were the days, Dave. Anyway, what a tangent that is. We've gone from
the Beth. It was the first lesbian kiss on British TV, wasn't it?
Beth Jordache and the
19, yeah, Beth Jordache. I remember that.
Anna Friel, Dave. Yeah, remember it well. Yeah. Oh, I remember all of it. Don't you worry about that, Dave. I remember all of it.
But anyway, away from Brookside.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this. Going back, I don't know what to say. It's just movie's fucking terrible. But have we got anything else on the plot, or should we go into our final review?
Let's get into the review, Dave. So, I think with this movie, it's terrible. Mike Burton, I applaud you, my friend. I know you're probably laughing. Absolute shocking movie, this. This is terrible. Like I say, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I can't give it that mantle, but just at the rage I had watching it, like, am I missing things in? The fact that I've even had to go online and look at the plot to understand what's going on before we even talk about it, as I'm watching it, is a fucking disgrace. So, this is terrible. It's got that early 2000s feel, that computer generation, that whole Matrix, as you said, Seven, Blade type weird camera filter on that. It's synonymous with them sort of early movies around that time when they were especially depicting something. I know Blade's a Marvel property, but like the Matrix, that computer world and all this sort of thing. So yeah, but he's fucking awful. Stephen Dorff is terrible. He looks about fucking 4'11". He's not convincing as a fucking copper at all. It looks like he's got his dad's clothes on and he's just fucking rubbish in it. So he's going to Alderaan, Dave, never to be seen ever again. I hope General Zod's up there and he can actually just take him out from the Phantom Zone as well, Dave. What a terrible, terrible movie. That's a callback. What a terrible movie. So what about yourself?
Yeah, like you say, it's not the worst movie you've ever seen, but I think with some of the worst movies you've ever seen, you can get some enjoyment out of it. So, you know, paradoxically, they become better than the worst movie you've ever seen. I think for just being purely forgettable, the fact that I had watched this and it completely forgotten that I'd watched it, and it was only, you know, when I started to get into it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen this. But for being forgettable, this is 10 out of 10. And I think the acting performances are terrible. I don't know what's going on, whether it's with the direction or, you know, people just weren't invested. I think the performances were terrible. The editing was terrible. The whole way the story's put together doesn't really take you through. It doesn't get you invested. I think the music, I can't think of anything bad about it, but the score, you know, another thing, utterly forgettable. So, yeah, I'm afraid it's an Alderaan for me as well. There's just nothing redeemable about this at all. There's not even, you know, some movies back in the day would have one thing that would happen and that was just utterly memorable about it. And then that sticks with you and that elevates the whole movie. It's not even something like that where there's a single scene or a single shot that you think, oh yeah, that was done quite well. It was all just, you know, a complete rip off the idea of something like The Ring, but just done in a really poor way, but spent lots of money doing it. So yeah, definitely the bottom for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, mate, at all. And thank you, Mike, for that one. But Dave, it's my pick next week. And the year of the stitch up, I don't know whether this one will be a stitch up. It can be for some people. I've got to pick this one. I've had this on the back pocket, and with it being leading up to the, Halloween and everything, I thought, right, this is the time. So I'm not even going to be subjective on this one, Dave. I have got one of the biggest crushes ever on the lead actress in this, Dave. Unbelievable. And the outfits, 10 out of 10. Nothing to do with the movie, but you'll understand why. This is
not
based
Barbed Wire, is it?
No. That's another movie. This one, Dave, is directed by Stephen Sommers. It's based on Dracula by Bram Stoker, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It stars Kevin O'Connor, Will Kemp, Davy Wenham, Richard Roxburgh, Hugh Jackman, and amazing Kate Beckinsale, Dave.
Oh.
We are doing Van Helsing, my friend, and I cannot wait, because unbelievable, that movie. When I watched that and them outfits, oh my word, I cannot wait.
Yeah, I remember that one quite well, actually.
Oh, I bet you do. Yeah, because I do.
around the same time, and it wasn't just. I mean, Beckinsale with a Transylvanian accent.
Dave, don't. I love this.
But yeah,
movie.
the Dracula's brides were quite prominent in that as well. I remember.
Oh, I cannot wait. I'm going to have to watch that in the dark room, actually, Dave. Go against my whole fucking remit. What a movie. I actually enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to it. I've not watched it for about 10 years, but I remember watching it going, oh, this is absolutely amazing. But anyway, amazing. I do like Hugh Jackman as well, Wolverine and everything, Dave. So that was one of the reasons I actually ended up watching it. It's not, totally against what I normally watch as movies, but yeah, I remember being a fan of this. Yeah, you're not believing any of that. But anyway, so big thank you to everyone, as always, for supporting us, Mike. I salute you. I doff my cap, my friend. When this comes out, I think I said this last week, Dave, but I'm still in Vegas. So, Mike, you got married there with the wonderful Megan in Vegas. I will fly the flag, as always, out there and win no money and come back depressed. But there you go. So this will be a nice one for when I come back, Dave. I'm looking forward to it. But if you do want to support us, please go over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. If you want to email us, the VHS Strikes Back @gmail.com. If you don't want to follow us on social media, @VHS Strikes Back. So, a big thank you to all our patrons. Just for the roll call of honor, we have a new Patreon on board. So welcome, Reese. So thank you so much, mate, for coming in there. We do appreciate all your support, and I'm looking forward to what Reese has got to pick, Dave, down the line. So that'll be really interesting. So the roll call of honor, and a big thank you to, again, Reese, Nick, Greg, Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Tim, Matt, Hales, Ken, Looking at the Green, Herbs, Jack, Math, Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So that list gets bigger, and we do appreciate everyone who supported myself and Dave, past and present, on Patreon. It's absolutely unbelievable. And thank you so much. We have such a good laugh, and the picks have been awesome this year.
Yeah, no, very good, and yeah, very much looking forward to next week. A bit of a break from the year of the stitch up, but like a glass of water if you're walking through the desert. It's nice to have the occasional one where it's like, I can actually watch. What I remember is a decent movie. It might not hold up at all. It might be terrible, but yeah, I do remember enjoying that one.
I've got something for you, and I'm looking forward to this. I've got something for you. So, that year of the stitch up, maybe next year should be year of the unzip, Dave. Just thinking of Kate Beckinsale for next week, but year of the unzip, that could be the tagline.
What was it? Baywatch did? Was it like Baywatch Nights?
Yeah. The HS Strikes Back, the unzip files. Yeah, fucking brilliant.
Oh dear me! I do have to think about a theme. I've really enjoyed doing the whole year of the stitch.
I have.
Thing,
to be fair, it's been great,
and it's been great to get all the interaction, all the, honestly, all the movies we would never have fucking watched in a million years. If someone hadn't forced us to, well, not forced us, but picked it. So. Yeah, think about the theme and might kick around a few ideas over the coming weeks. But Chris, to see us out So a little musical number this week. I guess there's two things. So I know Mike is quite into, some of the heavier stuff. He has quite an eclectic musical taste. So, but a lot of the stuff that he does like is that kind of Slipknot, System of a Down, sort of almost new metal, but metal. Or pure metal as well. And also, as I mentioned, in 2002, I was just watching a lot of Kerrang TV. So, brainwashed with all this new metal stuff. So I've gone down that route again. The last time I did that was, what was it? The one with John Travolta. The something.
Yeah.
The pile of shit is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, what's the name? Yes, yeah.
It'll come to me when I'm playing the song, and I'll finish it out, because I think there's going to be a combination of people going, "It's fucking this," and other people going, "What the fuck's he talking about?" So anyway, Chris, this is imaginatively called FearDotCom Disaster.
Oh, I like that, Dave.
CGI online, torture streams, fuck your mind. 2 hours long, makes no sense. The scariest part, the expense. Critics cried, box office died. Steven Dorff looks fried. Try to watch, you can't survive. This site's a steaming pile of shit.
Lala.
Yeah. It is just very early 2000s, isn't it?
It's just your shit. I hate this movie, I'm done with it. Ghosts online, revenge repeats. Let's make bold and bitter seats. Stole from 7, stole from Ring. All they gave us huge shit thing. Flashcard score, editing sucks. Story lost, my poor brain stuck. 2 hours trapped in digital hell. This crush is like fucking straight up hell.
I do like this break.
It's nice. Got a bit of a Beastie Boys feel as well.
Yeah.
It's just your shit. I hate this movie, I'm done with it.
This is
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck this movie. Yeah, fuck this. No.
So there you go, Chris. And the movie that I was trying to think of was The Fanatic.
How was it? I knew it was something. I just kept thinking of his fucking wig. That's what I kept thinking of.
I just remember his opening line, "I need a poo." And that was obviously one of our late fees. So if you sign up for a Patreon, you get access to all of those late fees episodes, including that one. I think it was directed by Fred Durst, wasn't it? So that's why I went down the whole Limp Bizkit route before. But this one, more, like, say, a bit more System of a Down or something. Fred Flintstone.
No, not your song. I meant the film. Sorry. We're listening back going the past. I meant the actual directed by Fred Flintstone. This one. Sorry, yeah.
But anyway, sir, thank you. I don't know how we've got through this. I just didn't know I had anything to say. And as soon as I finish recording or editing, at least, I'll have forgotten about this movie again. So, yeah, well done, Mike. You absolutely did your job there and nailed the stitch up. So, Chris, thank you very much for the chat today, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's not.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off. One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Maybe you crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I'll see you in 6 months.